In this video lecture, we will go through the process of adsorption. From our previous lecture, it is clear that adsorption is a surface phenomena like evaporation is a surface phenomena, right? So in order to understand adsorption, let's take an example. Let's first take some examples. Let's say this is a closed vessel, right? And in this closed vessel, we have a gas. Let's say this gas is ammonia or phosphine, right? And if you place animal charcoal inside this container, you will notice that after some time the pressure of the gas inside the vessel will go down. That is, the pressure of the gas will decrease, right? So here observation is pressure will decrease, right? Inside, pressure will decrease inside. Similarly, let's take another example. If you take a solution of an organic dye, right? Let's say this is an organic dye, right? And if you add to this organic dye some animal charcoal, right? Animal charcoal, you will notice that the intensity of organic dye, the color of the intensity of this organic dye will decrease, right? In some time. So here the observation is color of dye will fade, right? Let's take another example. If this is a closed vessel, say this is a closed vessel, right? And it has water vapor inside it. Water vapor. If you lower down silica gel, inside this vessel, you will notice that after some time, observation would be that this container contains moist air, right? Silica gel is lowered into a container that contains your moist air, right? Then the observation is, after lowering down silica gel, after some time the air becomes dry, right, inside the vessel. So air becomes dry in some time. So what could be the reason for these observations is, when you lowered animal charcoal here, you noticed the animal charcoal was in contact with ammonia or phosphine, right? And after some time the pressure inside this vessel will decrease. The reason for this decrease is that this animal charcoal will attract these gas molecules, right? These gas molecules are on the surface of this animal charcoal. Gas molecules are attracted on the surface, right? Similarly here, when you added animal charcoal to this organic dye, the color of the dye will fade because the coloring material inside this organic dye is attracted by the animal charcoal, right? So the reason here is color will go fade. The reason is coloring material will get attracted to animal charcoal, right? Here also, if this is an animal charcoal, the coloring material will get attracted to the surface of this animal charcoal. Here this is silica gel. Silica gel will, after some time the moist air inside the vessel will become dry. The reason for this is the silica gel will attract the water vapor from the inside the vessel onto it, right? Silica gel will attract these water vapor, right? These are water vapor. So water vapor are now on the surface of this silica gel, right? So here in all the three cases, we have seen that these solid materials, this animal charcoal here, silica here, what it is doing is it's attracting the gas molecules, right, or the water vapor or coloring material in this case onto its surface, right? This process wherein the gas is getting absorbed on the surface of animal charcoal, right, or on the surface of any substance, right? This process is known as, or this phenomena is known as adsorption, right? Here, animal charcoal, right, the substance on which the gas is getting adsorbed, right, or is getting attracted, this substance is known as adsorbent, right? And here the gas that gets attracted on the surface of this animal charcoal is known as adsorbate, right? So after some time, in all the three cases, you will observe that the concentration of gas or the concentration of the substance will increase on the surface of this solid, right? This process is known as your adsorption, right? So adsorption is the process wherein one substance, right, gets attracted onto the other substance, right, thereby increasing its concentration on the surface, right? And the substance that gets attracted onto the other substance will remain on the surface, right? It will remain on the surface of the substance here is animal charcoal, so this gas will remain on the surface of animal charcoal. Similarly here, if we talk about the silica gel, this water vapor will remain on the surface of the silica gel, right? So this process is known as your adsorption, right? So here in adsorption, if this is your substance, onto this substance, this is, right, some other substance is attracted, right, and it will remain and on the surface, right, this will remain on the surface and will be retained, right, that is, it will remain, it will, the particles of this water vapor, or in this case gas particles, will remain on the surface, right? So it is attracted on the surface and will be retained on the surface. So these particles are attracted and will retain on the surface, thereby increasing the concentration, of other substance, concentration of substance here in our case is gas or vapors on the substance, right? So the gas molecules here, or the water vapor, this gas molecules or the water vapor will be called as adsorbate, right? And the substance onto which these gas molecules are attracted is known as adsorbent. This is known as your adsorbent, right? So the process in which this adsorbate gets attracted onto this adsorbent, right, thereby increasing the concentration of adsorbate on the surface, right, and these gas particles or the gas molecules will be retained on the surface. This process is known as, or this phenomena is known as adsorption, right? And adsorption, it will increase the concentration of adsorbate on the surface, right? So this is your adsorption, right? Now since the adsorbate, the substance, whatever substance is adsorbate, maybe a gas, maybe a water vapor or an organic dye, right, it remains on the surface of the adsorbent, right? So if you apply a slight temperature to this substance adsorbent, the adsorbate will get removed from the surface. Adsorbent would be removed from the surface on applying a slight temperature, right? On applying a slight temperature onto this, these molecules will get removed from the surface, right? So this is something opposite of adsorption, right? So this is known as desorption, right? Opposite of adsorption is your desorption, right? So desorption is process where slight temperature will remove, adsorbate from the surface, right, is your desorption, right? So, and if a gas, right, we have done this in our previous chapters, I think on in hydrogen, there's one property of hydrogen, that hydrogen gets adsorbed on the surface of metals like platinum, palladium or nickel, right? This phenomena of adsorption of hydrogen on the surface of metals is known as occlusion of hydrogen, right? So occlusion is when gas when the gas molecules are adsorbed by metals, right? So when gas molecules are involved, right, or when gas molecules are adsorbed on the surface of metals, this is known as occlusion, right? So there is a term called as occlusion when gas molecules are adsorbed on solid surface. Here in case nickel, for example, solid is nickel, that is hydrogen gas gets adsorbed on nickel. This is known as occlusion of hydrogen, right? So let's just talk a little about mechanism of adsorption, right? Mechanism of adsorption. Let's see why this adsorption takes place, why these gas particles are getting attracted to the solid, or in this case why hydrogen gas, right, gets attracted to the surface of nickel. What could be the reason? Let's talk that in mechanism. We know that we have studied this, that in case of liquids, right, the liquid molecules that are inside, that is in the bulk of the liquid, which is inside the liquid, would be equally attracted by all other nearby liquid molecules, right? But the liquid molecules that are at the surface, these are only be attracted by the molecules which are inside the liquid, which are just beneath beneath these molecules which are on the surface, right? And there are no forces, no liquid molecules to attract these molecules above the surface, right? So these molecules that are at the surface will face some unbalanced forces, right? So here only these liquid molecules which are at the surface would be attracted by liquid molecules that are inside the liquid, and there is no force of attraction above the surface, right? But if you compare it with the liquid inside, this will be attracted by other neighboring molecules from all the four sides. So due to these unbalanced forces, or due to this inward pull on the liquid molecules that are at the surface, we have surface tension. The liquid have surface tension. What surface tension we know is a surface phenomena, and it is developed due to these unbalanced forces, due to the inward pull on the molecules that are at the surface, right? Same is the situation with solids. If we talk about solids, right, if we let's say we have taken the example of occlusion of hydrogen, right? If we look at this, say let's call it as, say this is nickel metal, right? Inside the bulk of the solid, right, this one nickel atom is bonded to other nickel atoms, right, due to metallic bond, right? This is a metallic bond, right? That is bond between two metal atoms. Due to these bonds, the nickel atom, which is in the bulk of this solid, would be attracted by other nickel atoms on from all the sides, right? So this nickel atom which is inside, right, would be attracted by, or would be attracted by nickel atoms that are by the neighboring nickel atoms, right? This nickel atom would be attracted by neighboring nickel atoms due to the metallic bond between the nickel atoms. Now, if we talk about the nickel atom that are at the surface here, right? At the surface, the nickel atoms that are at the surface, right, would be attracted by nickel atoms which are at the side, right, and the below nickel atoms. If we talk about this nickel atom, this would be attracted by nickel atoms, right, these nickel atoms. But at the surface, there is no nickel atom to satisfy this valency, right? There is no nickel atom that will attract this nickel atom from this side, right? So this is kind of a situation of unbalanced forces, right? This is an unbalanced force, since at the surface there is no other nickel atom, right, that gets bonded to this nickel atom, right? So if you look at this surface, this is how the situation will look, right? So at the surface we have these. What are these? These are your, we call it as unbalanced forces, right? Residual forces, to be correct. These are your residual forces, which are nothing but valence forces, right? And these are nothing but your unsatisfied valencies, right? We call it as unsatisfied valencies, right? And due to the presence of these unsatisfied valencies at the surface, these metals, mostly transition metals, are reactive, right? And since we have the presence of these unsatisfied valencies at the surface of any solid, right, due to these unsatisfied valencies, the surface of the solid is very reactive, right? And due to this reactivity, it will react with substances around, maybe gases, right, or liquid or anything, right? So this is the reason for the adsorption. I'll repeat. Since the metal or the solid at the surface have these unsatisfied valencies, right, or residual forces, right? Due to these unsatisfied valencies, the surface of the metal, right, or the solid, right, is very reactive, right? The surface is reactive due to the presence of these unsatisfied valencies or residual forces, right? So the surface will start reacting, or it will start attracting the substances around it, right? Like here, this animal charcoal, the surface of animal charcoal is reactive due to the presence of such unsatisfied valencies or residual forces, right? So animal charcoal will attract these gas on its surface, right? Same is with this silica gel. Due to the presence of unsatisfied valencies at the surface, it will start reacting with, or it will start attracting the water vapor, the molecules of water vapor onto its surface, right? So this is the reason for your adsorption, right? Due to the surface, due to the metal surface or the solid surface being reactive, right? The surface, due to surface being reactive, it will attract substances around it, right? So this is the reason for the process of adsorption. Now this is your adsorption. Let's talk about one more thing, absorption, right? Adsorption, now we know what it is. Now there is something known as absorption, right? Absorption. If in place of silica, right, I place here calcium chloride, right? If this is your, say, closed vessel, it has water vapor inside it, and if you lower calcium chloride, anhydrous calcium chloride, into this vessel that contains water vapor, right, then after some time we observe that the water vapor, right, is attracted by the calcium chloride, right? But in this case, the water vapor is not only at the surface of calcium chloride, but is distributed uniformly throughout calcium chloride, right? What we mean is, by saying it's uniformly distributed throughout calcium chloride, that water vapor has gone inside the substance, inside calcium chloride. Because in earlier case, water vapor, in case of adsorption, water vapor will remain on the surface, right? In case of absorption, the absorption will take place in case of calcium chloride. So water vapor would be distributed throughout this metal. It will not remain on the surface only, it will move inside the bulk of this substance, right? Since it's moving inside the bulk of this substance, which is calcium chloride here, so we call that, in this case, that the substance will get distributed throughout the material of this solid, right? So this is your absorption, when the molecules are not attracted only at the surface but will also be distributed throughout this substance. This is known as your absorption, right? So there are some differences between adsorption and absorption, right? First is absorption. This is a bulk, since in this case the substance will move inside this the gas, or in this case we have taken water vapor. Water vapor will move inside the bulk of this substance, right? So this is we call it a bulk phenomena, right? And this one, second one, since in adsorption the substance or the water will remain on the surface, it will remain on the surface, so this is a surface phenomena, right? So this is, one is a bulk phenomena and other is your surface phenomena, right? And one is very simple here. In this case, the concentration, right, concentration at the surface, right, is different from that in the bulk, right? The concentration on the surface of adsorbent is different from that in the bulk. Adsorbent is this surface, right? So the concentration at the surface of this adsorbent is different from inside it, because this substance, water vapor, is adsorbed only at the surface. It is not traveled inside this substance, right? So concentration is higher only at the surface. There is no concentration inside the substance. So we say that concentration in case of adsorption, concentration is high only at the surface, right? So concentration is different than in the bulk, right? Whereas in case of absorption, concentration is same throughout. Concentration is same throughout, right? Here in this case, the concentration, since these water vapor will move inside the bulk of this solid, so concentration is same throughout, right? Here concentration is high only at the surface. Third is the rate of adsorption will increase in the beginning, right, and will go down as the time progresses, right? So rate of adsorption decreases with time. Sorry, I'll write it. rate of adsorption decreases with time, right? Whereas in case of absorption, rate will remain same, right? Rate of absorption will remain same throughout. What could be the reason that rate of adsorption decreases with time? Since we know that adsorption is due to the presence of these unsatisfied valencies, right? So once these unsatisfied valencies will attract the substances around and will react with it, right? So once it will react with the substances around, once these valencies are satisfied, right? So the process of adsorption will decrease, or the rate of adsorption will decrease, right? So one example of adsorption and absorption is if ammonia, right, is in contact with animal charcoal, right, then the ammonia gas will get adsorbed on the animal charcoal, right? In case if animal charcoal is near ammonia, ammonia will get adsorbed on animal charcoal, that is, it will remain on the surface of animal charcoal, right? Whereas if ammonia is in contact with water, right, then it will dissolve in water, right, and will form solution of ammonium hydroxide. So in the second case, ammonia will get absorbed by water, right, and will move into the bulk of water and would be distributed throughout water, right, since it's soluble in water. We know that ammonia is highly soluble in water. So second example, where ammonia is in contact with water, ammonia will get absorbed inside water to form ammonium hydroxide solution, whereas in the first case, ammonia will remain on the surface of animal charcoal since it gets adsorbed on animal charcoal, right? So we are done with absorption, right? Now there is one term known as positive adsorption and negative adsorption. What happens is, sometime, let's first draw this up. Sometime what happens is, if you take some solid, right, if you take a solid like we have taken this animal charcoal in organic dye, right, what this solid will do, it will adsorb only solute particles, right? If you add, say, a solid, right, in solution, right, this solid will attract only solute particles from the solution, right? So this is known as your positive adsorption, when solid will attract only solute particles, right? So solid will attract only solute particles, right? This is your positive adsorption, right? Whereas in case there might be a case when solid will attract solvent, right? If solid will attract solvent, then this is your negative adsorption. So what could be the case? Solvent from the solution may be adsorbed by the adsorbent, right? Here this solid is your adsorbent, right? So solid will attract, or say adsorb, solvent, right? Instead of solute, it will attract, or it will adsorb, right, solvent from the solution, right? So here adsorbent is your solid, this is your adsorbent. So adsorbent will adsorb solvent from the solution, right? So thereby increasing the concentration of solution, right? Because we know that solution is formed from solute and solvent, right? So if you remove